There's one last thing I want to talk about when it comes to working with events in Vue. Let's go back to the function we defined in the configuration object. Inside the function, you'll notice we're calling the event.preventDefault method. This behavior is standard in most applications because you may not want the default browser behavior to affect your application. However, it's kind of repetitive and takes up room in our code. Luckily, Vue provides a way to simplify this. Vue has a feature called event modifiers. Event modifiers do precisely what you think they do. They modify the way an event is handled. In the resource section of this lecture, I provide a link to the official documentation for event modifiers. Here is what Vue says about them. It is a very common need to call event.preventDefault or event.stopPropagation inside event handlers. Although we can do this easily inside methods, it would be better if the methods can be purely about data logic rather than having to deal with DOM event details. To address this problem, Vue provides event modifiers for v-on. Down below are some examples. Let's give one of them a shot. Back inside the template, we'll want to apply an event modifier to the input event. Event modifiers can be used by adding a dot after the event name. This dot is followed by the modifier you'd like to use. I want to stop the default behavior of the event. Vue comes with an event modifier called prevent. I'll add this modifier to our event. Adding this is the equivalent of calling the preventDefault method in our function. We can remove the line where we call the preventDefault method since we're using event modifiers. This makes our code look a whole lot cleaner and simpler. Let's give this one last test. Refresh the page. If I were to type in the input, everything would still work. As I type in the last name field, the full name is updated above. The console is still logging the message on every change. This is exactly what we wanted. That wraps it up for event modifiers. Handling events in Vue is painless. We can use modifiers to shorten the amount of code we would normally have to write. This allows us to keep our code tidy and organized.